Facebook. Hello, Instagram. I am so happy you are here with me. I am Amy Raup of amyraup.com, and I am honored to be coming to you to spread joy, help you live your best life, guide you towards reawakening your true self, your healthiest life. This month on my Instagram and Facebook Lives, I am talking to you about stories of hope. These are stories from my clinic or my online coaching programs where women who have been trying to conceive without luck have finally achieved success. And I find it really valuable to all of you who are on your path to hear other stories and to understand that you are not alone, that there is a community of women out there who are going through what you're going through, and that you too can find hope in their stories, that they were once where you might be at now, and they once didn't have hope, and they once were filled with fear and anguish and sadness and found their way through it and had their dream baby. So let's get to it. This story they're all favorites of mine. So I'm gonna say this is one of my favorites, but I have thousands of favorites. And I might cry, so just bear with me. I will call this client Sarah. I do not use real names, of course. I am always here. Hello, Deirdre, nice to see you. Jadav, hello, nice to see you. If you guys are here for some inspiration on your fertility journey, give me a hands up or a clap or a heart. I want to know that I'm reaching you and inspiring you. That is my goal with all of this, is I am always learning. I am always bettering myself. I am always looking for ways I can better serve my community, that I can better direct and guide you guys, because you freaking deserve it. So this is a beautiful story of hope. What did I say her name was? Sarah. So Sarah came to me at 41 years old. So about a year prior, she was encouraged to reach out to me by another client of mine who was also a beautiful story of hope that maybe I'll share this month. They met randomly at an event and they shared their fertility journey. And my current client gave Sarah a copy of Yes, You Can Get Pregnant. And so Sarah proceeded to read that. At the time, she was getting acupuncture at another fertility clinic in New York City. She was following a diet, but as you will learn, it wasn't the best diet for her. And her acupuncturist team was just not giving her the direction that she needed. She had gone through, so they had been, I'll give you a little of her history. I have her chart notes, see? So we also have the same birthday. She's a year younger than me. So she's currently about to turn 44. Fertility, stress management. Are you seeking Chinese medicine before? Yes. So she has autoimmune condition, elevated natural killer cells, positive ANA. She was working with a doctor named Dr. Scher, who is an amazing autoimmune fertility doctor in New York City, Dr. Jonathan Scher. He's out of Mount Sinai. He's a lovely, lovely man. He's like one of the original pioneers of IVF. She's had uterine fibroid surgery. She had endometrial scratching. She first met with Dr. Scher in January of 2015. She first came to my office in February of 2017, so 2 years later, okay? And in January 2015, she discovered the autoimmune issues, and they've been trying to conceive since 2012. So I was actually, yeah, so that's about right. She got pregnant naturally in 2013, and she miscarried. She also has a skin condition called mastocytosis, which also falls into an autoimmune type of condition, okay? So on her new patient intake form, you can see all her fertility treatments that she wrote out here. IUI in 2014, IVF, Clomid natural IVF, IVF, no pregnancies. so she, oh, sorry, she had 2 pregnancies with those. So the IUI negative, first IVF miscarriage, second IVF miscarriage, then IVF with PGD, IVF with PGD, IVF with PGD, IVF with PGD, all negative. By the time she gets to me, we still have 2 PGD normal embryos on ice, but she's decided to stop transferring because it's not sticking. Now, she used to miscarry, now she's just not even getting pregnant. What is her goal? To be more balanced, manage stress, and give birth to a happy, healthy baby. Her diet: gluten-free oatmeal with berries, quinoa bowl with veg, egg, hummus, quinoa bowl, chili, chicken, veggies, rice, broth, apple, almond butter, raw veggies, nuts. Pretty healthy diet, right? She's gluten-free, she's dairy-free, she's eaten her bone broth. So again, she's read Yes You Can Get Pregnant probably a year prior. So she's kind of sort of following that diet. Joy and worry. They just bought a house. So the things that were exciting her, I asked this all in my intake form. Currently renovating my kitchen. I'm excited about that. She lost her mom in 2013, lost her dad in 2015. So 3 miscarriages, so a lot of trauma. You know, and then she's got like her red flag symptoms. I mean, you guys can't see this too well because of the light, but look at how many symptoms she still has. So the first thing I think, when someone's eating as clean as she is, then I get to this page and I see all these check marks. Something she's eaten isn't right still in her diet. Something still isn't right because she's got hair loss, decreased vision, skin problems, swollen feet and ankles, allergies. She can't lose weight. She's constipated, depressed, low libido, back pain, joint inflammation, and sciatica. So the first thing I said to her, I was like, listen, whatever you're doing just isn't still working. Your autoimmune is still very active. She had tons of autoimmune symptoms. So even though she's seen an autoimmune fertility doctor, she's getting acupuncture, and she's following a pretty clean diet, it's not enough for her. So, you know, so we get into, so now that's her new patient paperwork. Again, this first visit was February 7th, 2017. She was on cycle day 22 at the time. Both her and her husband have the cystic fibrosis gene. So that was something that they discovered when she had her first miscarriage. And so that's what moved them to IVF kind of right away. Her husband got freaked out, did not, 25 or I think 50% chance that their child would have the cystic fibrosis. So they moved right to IVF and then with PGD. So 4 rounds of IVF, wound up with 2 PGD normal. First didn't survive the thaw, second didn't implant. Was following a diet, she said. You know, oh, I'm following your diet, she said. Mastocystitis, so that's the skin stuff all over. She's got these kind of like red inflamed bumps all over her skin. They kind of look like freckles. They come and go. They are so, she hated them, like so embarrassing to her. And then she had this weight that just wouldn't budge. With how clean she was eating and she's exercising, she could not lose. Like she was like 20 pounds overweight, 30 pounds overweight. She was considering donor eggs, you know, and that process has been very healing for her, but they still had these PGD normal embryos on ice. She still had 2 left. So the first pregnancy was in 2013. She got pregnant with twins. That was natural. She miscarried them at 10 weeks, and then her mom died. So she was so sad. So sad when we first met. She was very resistant to meeting me. I'm going to get emotional because she said, I just have been through so much. Like, what more can I possibly do? And she was like, I honestly just felt like I read your book and I'm doing your thing. And I just don't need another person in my life to tell me the things I need to do. Like she had a lot of anger, a lot of sadness, and I totally get it. Lots of fertility treatments, acupuncture, Chinese herbs. I mean, she had done it all. Her digestion was good. She would get bloating or gas if she had gluten or dairy. She's, for the most part, gluten and dairy free, trying, but it's hard. Bowel movements usually once a day. She doesn't eat within the first hour of waking. Instead, she goes 3 hours without food. Black coffee on an empty stomach. So if you guys know me, I nipped that right away. 28-day cycle, she spots cycle day 20 to 23, 24, brown red spotting. Ultrasound showed no cysts, but she does have fibroids. Pain with ovulation. Her menstrual flow is healthy. She changes 3 pads, sees some clots, occasional cramps. can get night sweats before her period. Temperature was normal otherwise. Anxiety makes her sweaty. She lost both her parents. She just had an ultrasound on her thyroid, saw nodules. They did a fine needle aspiration. So we just really talked a lot about the emotional stuff when we first met, and I really just did my best to just try to let her know that I was there to support her however she needed, understanding that she had been through so many other practitioners at this point, is following so many things, and not quite sure like exactly what is right for her. And I think she was really there to meet me as kind of like a last-ditch effort, and really because her friend kept pushing her. She really didn't want to be there. And I got it, because I get that sometimes. People come to me and they're like, I hate you. I hate this whole fertility process. I don't want to fucking be here. I don't want to be spending my money on you. I'm sick of this. I get that. I do. A lot. So my general recommendations to her in the beginning, I wanted her to go 100% dairy-free. I recommended using ghee instead of butter, coconut oil, adding vital proteins to her coffee in the morning, eliminate nightshade vegetables, soak her beans. I gave her my Amy-approved Bath and Beauty products because she wasn't following that yet. It's true, but it's not personal, Kelly says, haha. It is, it's true. I mean, I get it. I'm like, listen, no one wants to be here. I don't want you to be here either. I didn't want to have a career out of this. I mean, it's amazing. It's a blessing. I think I'm doing so much more than helping women get pregnant. But God, I don't want you guys to be struggling. That sucks, you know? So I feel you. So again, she wasn't clean or non-toxic with her Bath and Beauty products. So she was seeing a fertility acupuncturist who did not have her non-toxic with her Bath and Beauty products. Tisk, tisk, tisk to all of you practitioners out there. You have got to work on lifestyle with your patients. And I put her on liver pills. So those were our first recommendations. I did slow and steady with her. Hi, CC. You guys are so sweet. So I saw her again, cycle day 3, spotted 1 to 2 days before, brown, blood work and scan today, starting estrace, loves the e-course. So I gave her access, as I do to many of my clinic patients, at a severe discount. I give them access to the e-course, and she dove right in. She was like, by the time she came to that next appointment, she was like all in. All of a sudden, loved me. I think it was the e-course and just seeing the support. And I talked so much about the emotional stuff. And she said to me, I think I want to go grain free. Like, I think I want to fall, because I had yet released Body Belief. I think it was coming out that year. So I had all the content and I shared that diet with her, and she dove right in. She was like, okay, I wanted to go grain free. I'm going to go without the nightshades. She was, and you know, by the time I saw her the next time, she was doing the coconut milk in her coffee. She loved the Body Belief egg drop soup, the bone broth egg drop soup. It became her new thing. Her weight hadn't changed. And she came to me, and I met her on, like I said, February 7th, and she was doing a transfer in March. I encouraged her to wait another month. She didn't want to. So then the transfer got pushed back because she had an infection, like a vaginosis style infection. So it gave us more time, and that's what I encouraged. She was very sad about that. And I was like, listen, it gives us more time because your autoimmune symptoms are still very active. So she went grain-free, nightshade-free, and she added in a ton more vegetables to her diet. Her bowel movements changed, very consistent, so good. And then, I also put her on a mitochondrial optimizer supplement that week. So she had the infection was an endometritis infection. So they were treating her with the antibiotics. They were not going to do a transfer. So they were repeating the scratch test. It's called an endometrial biopsy. If any of you have had a long-term fertility challenges and you've never had an endometrial biopsy, you should consider it and talk to your doctor about it, because it can reveal something called endometriitis, or even a bacterial infection in the uterus, which will not allow for implantation, or if you do implant, you will miscarry. How much time did she wait between retrieval and transfer? So that last retrieval was it was almost 6 months prior. So she did one. So she had gotten 4 PGS normals over the course of 2 retrievals. And so she transferred 1 it didn't take. Transferred a second one, didn't take. So by the time I met her, she was going to do another transfer. So 2 had not taken. PGS normal, embryos not taking. So I meet her in February. She's planning to do the next transfer in March. They collected those embryos between June and I think August. Okay, FET or weight between retrieval and transfer. That's the same thing, right? Frozen embryo transfer, you can do that whenever. I think it's better to do FETs because the body comes back down to normal, and then you do the transfer when their ovaries aren't super inflamed and you weren't just making 16 eggs. Okay, so she was nervous. So I added in the mitochondrial optimizer. She's on the diet now. She's now gluten-free, dairy-free, grain-free, nightshade-free. Oh, I'm sorry. FET to me is frozen embryo transfer. Sorry. So yeah, I wouldn't do a fresh. I would wait. I mean, it depends. But if you've done fresh before and it hasn't worked, I would try frozen. They show same, if not better, success with frozen. Sorry, FET in my brain is frozen. I'm sorry. I went right to that. Okay, so March 24th, less swollen, skin feels a lot better, feels really good, doing castor oil packs. So I had her while we were waiting, and she wasn't going to try naturally because of the cystic fibrosis thing. They're not trying naturally, even though she was willing to, but her husband was not. Okay, so let's see. She also noticed eating 20 minutes after waking, making a really big difference in her sleep and her energy to get through the day. And let's see, otherwise sleeping great, poor sleep last night, 3.5 weeks out to transfer. So, she also switched to her Amy Ralph beauty products. Skin great, doing the dry brushing, castor oil. So she really, as resistant as she was to coming to see me, she dove right in. I told her about tapping because in the e-course, there's a section on emotional freedom technique. It helps you work through the emotional traumas of the fertility journey. So she was doing tapping. At this point now, we're March 28th. So we are not even 2 months into knowing each other. She's dropped 6 pounds. Now, mind you, she has tried everything, not losing weight for the last 3 years. 6 pounds fall off of her. So the next biopsy comes back clean. She's on prednisone, estradiol, she's doing IVIG, all the supplements, and now they're getting ready to transfer at the end of April, and she is nervous as hell. Still no grains, cooking a lot, feels really good, doing her meditation, her visualization. Now, mind you, she wasn't doing any of that before. Let's see, feeling good, waiting for period. So now it's early May, we're waiting for her period to come on to do the transfer. Let me just make sure I'm not missing any pages here. Okay. 5-9, not pregnant. So 5-1, we had already done the transfer. So it doesn't work. Transfer doesn't work. Devastated. So at this point, I'd worked with her. Basically, I met her again on February 7th. And so it was 2.5 months that she was following my protocol. And we did the transfer, and it did not work. She was devastated. So they found 2 more fibroids and decided to remove them because they thought maybe that had impacted the transfer. She was redoing the immune panel, transfer again, hopefully in June. Needs period before, staying on the plan. So she gets knocked down, but she's like, listen, I feel better. I'm losing weight. My skin condition is better. I don't have achy joints anymore. I'm having a healthy poop every day. I'm happier. I'm meditating. I'm sleeping better. All these things are positively improving in her life. So she's like, I'm not going to stop what you have me on because it's obviously doing something. We're, of course, devastated that she's not pregnant, right? So then I said, you know what, between now and June, the next transfer, so we basically have a month, let's put you on Chinese herbs. She agrees. Her friend who worked with me, who also had a very similar story, autoimmune stuff, miscarriages, I put her on herbs, the transfer, or the month before she got pregnant naturally, actually. And so she said, I want to get on the same herbs that she got on. And I was like, okay, well, they're going to be different because you guys are different, but I'll put you on herbs for a month. So she gladly went on the herbs. she, let's see, also increased her omegas. So that was something that we talked about. I said, you know what, because she was working with Dr. Scher, but I also am always up on Dr. Braverman's research, and he does very high dose omega-3s to reduce inflammation. So I said, let's double your omegas. And I get even stricter with the diet, like 100% no grains, because she was still having some quinoa here and there. And I was like, no grains, no seeds, no nightshades. And she was into it. They repeated the biopsy, came back negative, which was good. So no endometritis. She had increased her omega. So now we're May 30th. She's doing intralipids, IVIG, which she had done before with all the pregnancies. Her killer cells were at 16%. Last time they were at 14%. Normal is 12%. She was a little worried about that. Her ANA was elevated. And, you know, so she was feeling a little scattered. So then she discovered that she had the MTHFR mutation, which I had already had her on the liver pills and I was already treating her for it, but she didn't understand what that meant. So June 13, we talked about that. And she got a period. And so this is a month on the herbs. And she says, huge difference with her period, no PMS, healthy flow, 0 clots, and 6:30, transfer on Monday. She was feeling extremely optimistic. 7/6/2017, pregnant. Feels fluttering, sharpest sensations in breast, slight bloat. First beta was 199. Bowel movements regular and good. Skin good, feeling great. 8/29, 12 weeks on Wednesday. Ravenous. Last dose of prednisone next week. Still on Lovenox and baby aspirin. Nuchal maternity 21. Talked about amnio or not. These are my exact notes. Let me see. Oh, there, I missed 6 weeks. So I saw her 4 weeks pregnant. I saw her 6 weeks, 7/14. Ultrasound this morning, saw some spotting, so freaked out, but ultrasound looked great, feeling good, had some cramps. Do an IVIG, breast tenderness, they just feel heavier, stretching, sore into groin, increased urination, no food aversions, but a heightened sense of smell, nervous, anxious. 7 weeks, 7/21. Felt morning sickness today, saw heartbeat today, no more spotting, cut back on the baby aspirin, still that stretching sore feeling, doing all the meditation, visualization. Her breasts had already started to change, like her areola had gotten dark, and she came into that appointment and she was like, look at my boobs. She was so excited. It was so cute. 9 weeks, 8/4/2017. All good. Some smell, food aversions. Overall, feeling good. Ultrasound today. And then let's see. Anyway, you get the point. 13 weeks, 3 days. So yeah, she's still doing her broth. Getting some headaches. But so I basically saw her through the whole pregnancy. And I also got to see her. Here are those notes. I have them somewhere. In my clinic, I wish I could post the picture if that's possible. Beth, you know the picture, the one of the 3 of us hugging with the baby in the middle and me and mom hugging. I got to see her 5 months after little man was born. I have notes from that day and I can't seem to find them. But suffice to say, it was glorious. Oh, here we go. Baby boy, 5 months old. So good. Had a challenging first 3 months. Breastfeeding was tough. Feels good. Her back feels broken. Side hip over to the spine. Her hair's falling out. Sleeping well. Diarrhea. Eating yogurt. So she's back on dairy. Maybe it's stress. She's 80/20 with the food. Her period came last month. Watching her histamines. Rash okay. Still there. Thyroid, everything's are good at home. And so that was 8/10/2018, so about a year ago. And just now we're emailing to start getting her back in because we're going to do a transfer of that last embryo. So anyway, there's a hopeful story for you guys. I hope it's been hopeful. So again, she went through a lot. And like I said, she's following a diet. She was mainly gluten-free and dairy-free, mainly, but like how many transfers that didn't take, at least 4 failed IVFs. I actually think it was more than that. She was doing acupuncture. She was doing Chinese herbs. She was on certain supplements, but everything wasn't getting as addressed as it should have. And so when she came to me, I mean, I really addressed the emotional piece, but I also really tightened up the belt on the diet. And that's when we saw the changes in her physical symptoms. And so for me, those physical symptoms are my predictor. If she comes to me and she's like, my diet is this, but I'm still bloated and gas and I have achy joints and this skin rash, guess what? The diet she's on is not working. We got to shift things. We have to change things. And so that's what I've gotten really good at over the years, is that detective work. And what a blessing. Little man is 1.5 years now, and she couldn't be happier. And now we're going to go at the age of 44 and transfer another one of those. And I'll share that next story of hope in about a year. All right, guys, I'm going to hang up because I got to go to my own acupuncture appointment. I love you guys. Again, if you want more of me, head over to amyraup.com. If you guys are trying to conceive, take my fertility quiz. I have a ton of information for you. Once you take that quiz, you get all this really good free stuff from me for weeks. Every week we send you an email with more free stuff about how to optimize your fertility. So head over to amyraup.com, take that fertility quiz, head over to my blog, read other stories of hope. There are so many. We release one a month, okay? Yeah, God bless her and her little man. I agree, Natalie. Thank you. All right, guys. Let's see. But there's questions over here. Hi, Amy. Hi, Amy. Okay. So helpful. Your diet transformed my cycle. Oh, thank you, Deirdre. Really helpful to hear these stories. I always become more hopeful. Well, good. Okay. Can't wait to hear your recommendations for me, Ariella. Have a great day. All right, guys. I love you. You have a great day too. Ciao.